I'm Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone was a Henry. She wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. No Sam, I'm a great old man named Henry. Henry the Eighth, I am. So I wanted to thank folks who are taking the time to fill out the survey. I figured I would open things up on this channel so that viewers can get information about topics that they express interest in. One response had said that they wanted to hear more from me about deities and pantheons of different cultures. And so I've been spending a lot of the time the past few days doing just that. Another asked about destiny swaps, and so I'm going to actually get into that topic today. So let's talk about it. The destiny swap. When shadows attempt to steal the light. The concept of the destiny swap is one that's well known in many spiritual circles. In the sacred design of spiritual architecture, each soul is birthed with a divine blueprint, a destiny scripted by the eternal hand of God. This blueprint is not merely just a collection of events or aspirations, which some might refer to as the Akashic records, but there's also a mission, there's a purpose, there's a spiritual evolution, there's an alignment with it all. And among these souls are those that are called the chosen ones, individuals born with powerful spiritual callings. These beings are often destined to transform culture, uplift humanity, or even carry out divine assignments based on the contracts they've made with the Most High. They shine brightly and they draw the attention of both light and shadow. But where light radiates, darkness plots. And there are those who, having severed their connection to the Most High God through consistent betrayal, through abuse of power, through pride, through malice, through harming others and walking as hollow shells, these individuals are no longer guided by an inner light, but by obsession, by envy, by hunger. Instead of cultivating their own spiritual development, they seek to hijack the path of another. This spiritual heist is known as the dreaded destiny swap. You might even hear a person like this say, I just don't want to do that much work anymore. It's so much whatever. Why should I have to work hard when I could just take it from you? Destiny swapping arises from a place of lack and spiritual bankruptcy. And there are different categories of that as well. You have those that are the spiritually disconnected. These individuals once had potential, but abandoned their growth through vice, greed, and betrayal. Some people might call them fallen angels. There are the envious and the resentful. Their bitterness turns to spiritual obsession, leading them to believe that stealing another person's fortune is their only path to redemption. There are the occult practitioners and the false prophets. Some actively use sorcery, witchcraft, or ritual to mimic or override the energy of the chosen ones. And they do this quite intentionally because it's almost like devouring them whole and making quite good use of them. You also have the religious hypocrites who are driven by ego. They perform spiritual identity theft while publicly feigning righteousness and this great power when in fact they're looking for someone who has it so they can take it for their own. And the root motivation is the same. Escape from dissatisfaction, desperation to something that matters, the desire to claim a destiny that they were never assigned because they blew their chances a long time ago. You have a lot of energy vampires and spiritual leeches. These hijackers operate through parasitic attachment. They form relationships with the chosen, whether that be romantic, platonic, professional, however the case may be, and they will gradually latch on and siphon the energy of these chosen ones through imitation, through manipulation. They align themselves with the vibration of the chosen, but they also are lowering the chosen to a vibration that they were once at. They're going to mirror speech patterns. They're going to mirror philosophies. They're going to mirror behaviors. They're going to study every detail to convince others in the universe that they are the original. They seek to replace, not admire. They don't come to touch your skin. They come to steal your skin. And they want that divine code that's written into the chosen one's soul. So let's talk about the funnel of manipulation. Manipulation and destiny swapping occurs in stages. Whether you have the sociopaths, the psychopaths, the narcissists, however it may be, you're going to have a form of energetic entanglement. They bind themselves to the chosen energetically, forming these invisible cords, and then using their manipulation to gaslight and to waylay. They're going to use imitation and seduction. They seduce others into believing that they might be divine just like them, mimicking the chosen one's persona to help you think that we are the same, we were meant for each other. They're going to look at spaces meant for the chosen, audiences, opportunities, spiritual communities. They're going to use digital and occult tactics. They stalk online presences. They replicate aesthetics. They use divination. They use spells to further blur spiritual distinctions between themselves and the chosen one that's the target. Because it's all about making the universe thinking you're all on the same page. In advanced forms, these spiritual imposters become literal doppelgängers. They attempt to mirror the chosen one so closely that others, and sometimes even spirits, become confused. In the astral or in the dream realms, they may appear as the chosen one's double somehow, trying to intercept spiritual communication, trying to intercept blessings, trying to intercept guidance, trying to intercept rewards. But this deception always fails. The soul carries a very unique frequency signature that cannot be counterfeited. The higher realms, the ancestors, and divine guardians soon enough will come to recognize authenticity. They know the sound, they know the rhythm, and they know the essence of a real one. Divine favor is also something that really cannot be transferred. And this is where a lot of these vampires get caught up, because they think they can transfer through deceit, through ritual, through performance. But no matter how well an imposter imitates, the spiritual system eventually will reject them. The blessings they chase do not flow. The doors they knock on remain shut. Divine favor will not abide in the stolen identity. In this way, they try to destroy the chosen ones by lowering them, so that therefore the universe really finds it very hard to tell the difference, because they're both on a very low level, but the universe is trying to get that person back on track, and in so doing will allow the vampire to also get back on track, something that they would not ordinarily have. They're hoping to find some way to fool divine law, but divine law is not to be mocked. And there are karmic consequences for all of the thievery. Attempting a destiny swap invites severe karmic backlash. The thieves will suffer spiritual degradation, chronic misfortune, paranoia, emotional instability, and torment. They may try to find ways to bind some sort of dark entity to the chosen one to sort of put them off their path, but they may end up getting confused and end up binding that dark entity to themselves. And so they want to become so addicted to the presence of the chosen that they start stalking them across lifetimes, obsessed with what they can never be. They may even end up killing them. But at some point they will meet with universal justice. The chosen are not just protected by chance, they're guarded by ancestral laws. There are angelic warriors assigned to them, and there are divine algorithms which have a way of detecting from a security standpoint what is what. Eventually the chosen will rise. They will awaken from the confusion. They will reclaim what was stolen. The manipulation comes to an end. They have newfound clarity, power, discernment. They call back their energy. They call back their power. They break the soul ties, and they cleanse the spiritual fields. Their resurrection is divine as they make a comeback that the vampiric ones couldn't have anticipated. The web of deception collapses. False blessings reverse. People begin to see the imposter for who they truly are. Twisted, sick, mentally ill individuals. The chosen burns away their facade as they begin to undergo another form of initiation. And those who are not meant to go through this initiation will be destroyed. The blessings for the chosen ones will begin to manifest again, and the illusions will fall away as the divine course resumes in turn. There is protection. There is spiritual strategy. To prevent further destiny theft, the chosen ones must also adopt sacred practices. They may involve themselves in daily energetic cleansing, salt baths, palo santo, myrrh, frankincense, neutralize spiritual debris. And always, as I say in all of my videos, none of these things are mandatory. You have to find what's right for you. I may suggest something here, but if it doesn't work for you, don't adopt it. Cord cutting rituals. Visual and verbal severance from attachments and parasites. You must be very clear and you must be well intentioned. Spiritual discernment. Watching for red flags, watching for imitation, watching for manipulation, watching for forced intimacy, watching for these people that are pulling tricks left and right. Never turn your back on them for a minute. Do not trust them. You do not know what they're capable of, but you will know. And once you do, you will never be fooled again. Can these spiritual thieves repent? Well, that depends. True repentance is going to require full admission, a release of stolen energy, and a restoration to the original. It is a deep process, and many imposters, particularly if they're narcissistic, are too proud of having gone too far to attempt it. But for those who do, redemption is possible, though their path will be long and their blessings must come anew, not on borrowed time. Remember that it was never theirs to begin with. In the end, no amount of trickery, ritual, mimicry, or obsession can rewrite divine order. The path that was written for the chosen before birth was an agreement that soul entered into with the divine. It contains the trials, the initiations, their glory, and many people will try to comb through the Akashic records to see if they can steal the information and hijack it somehow. But the universe does not make clerical errors. Those who attempt to impersonate the chosen do not understand the cost of carrying divine favor. They want the power, but they don't want the pain. They want the platform, but they don't want to go through the process. God does not give favor without fire. So the fakes will fall. Let the spell work break. Let the true ones rise, because for every chosen one that's out there, they've got a hard path in front of them. They earn everything they get. And that's something that the spiritual vampires and the energy thieves never quite understand. The destiny swap is born to fail. And when the chosen return to their rightful place, the entire universe realigns. Those who seek to impersonate the chosen just do not understand the weight of the calling. They may very well get the assignments and none of the blessings and be crushed under them, realizing that they didn't know how strong the chosen ones truly were. If they want the glory and not the crucifixion, it is in the fire that the chosen are forged, and no shadow being can survive that fire. So let the masquerade end. Let the false ones fall. Let the righteous return. Because what is written by God cannot be undone by a mere demon, by a mere dark spirit, dark entity, or cult, or counterfeit spirit. The destiny swap will fail, and when the chosen rise, the whole world will feel it. And this is the time when you come into your own, realizing how far you've come, and you reclaim your power. Thank you for joining us in the Sacred Hour. This has been the Unrelenting Alchemist. Until next time, as always, walk wisely, walk bravely, and when the dark calls, answer not with fear, but with intentioned fire and light. Take what is yours. And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you.